Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is, you know what this is? This is, we're going to call this an all Dodgers postgame show. You like that? That's called buying a little bit of time so you can get the soundboard going. What is going on, Clint Nation? Happy Monday to you. It is a water Monday, not a Modelo Monday, because your boy has got a lot of drinking coming up this weekend, but it's a reason to be drinking. It's a reason to celebrate. Actually, I got some booze here. I might have a sipple because the Dodgers down the Brew Crew, winners of, what is it, 4 in a row now. We're feeling good. We're feeling froggy. Mookie Betts is back. So on today's show, we're talking about the return of Marcus Lynn Betts. We're talking about a hell of an outing from Clayton Edward Kershaw. And we're also trying to figure out how I can personally send Joe Kelly to the sun. Plus some more Dodgers news, some River Ryan news in there. We're going to talk about that. We haven't talked about that on this show yet. So all that and more on another edition of the All Dodgers podcast. I am Clint Pasillas. Find me as Real FRG on the social media machine you see there at the kids table. That is at Skinner7 Kevin, producer Kevin in the house, and we're feeling good about tonight's game. Sound off in the comments, guys. Let us know what you think about this win. If you have the number, I have it on the YouTube community page, by the way. Call in. You can call in during the show. We just got one voicemail in right now, so that is pretty cool. But Kevin, quick instant reactions to this game.
It was the game of a lot of players kind of returning. Returning either to form or literally coming back in the case of Mookie Betts. And almost all of it was positive.
We'll say that. I think we could say that.
I mean, like 98%. We could say 99%, but then it would, he wears number 99 is the thing that wasn't positive. So.
So I don't know why you're, for some reason, really low on this thing. So it's being lame. But whatever, guys. We'll figure it out. This is a show about you guys, less than about us. And let's find some comments in here. First one I see is Jared Myers talking about Dave Roberts. Doc doing Doc things. And quick. Yeah, I'm not big. I'm not upset about that decision to pull Kershaw in that moment. We'll talk about that, though, in a little bit. Owen Cortez just says Marcus Lynn Betts. That's what we're about. Denny Cortez is in the chat. Orlando in the chat talking about Clint Quick with the stream. Hey, we're ready here. I'm not here to make you guys wait around for 5 to 10 minutes. Our guy Bob Nightingale in the chat. Mr. Classic in the chat. Noah Ortega in the chat. BC in the chat. What is going on, everybody? Again, you feel good. People giving some love to Michael Kopech. I was just doing that on the Discord server, by the way, because, again, I had some reservations about what this dude can do. Rightfully so, because he came here from the Chicago White Sox. Numbers weren't all that pretty. But so far, the small sample size, I'm in. I'm bought in on the Michael Kopech experience. And you were bought in. You were one of those people who not live by the StatCast numbers, but you see those numbers, you see the savant, you know there's something in there, and people tend to be happier when they're not playing for the Chicago White Sox. Just ask Miguel Vargas, everybody.
Yeah. Poor Miggy. Yeah, when he signed on, it was all about limiting walks. The stuff was there. Every underlying metric loved his stuff. Big stuff guy, just could he limit walks? I think he's up to this is his 7th appearance. Tonight was his first walk issued, so he's reined that in. He's throwing a little bit more breaking balls. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. I'll get them as Savant updates them. But he's basically throwing like show me breaking balls, which is just enough to blow 101 by somebody. So hey, the formula works. Just keep doing it.
We like the formula, and we like people who come to LA and decide to do their job good. I would be doing my job good if I told you guys about Bet Online. It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football, because, guys, it is now football season, as some people might say. So we got a promo code for you. We can talk about that in a second, but if you got preseason NFL, you got college football kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, even those live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Hey, do you think you know their stuff? Your stuff? They are going to have a $300,000 winner-take-all NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. Maybe I should have read some of this a little bit before reading it, but even so, we're Fuck it, we'll do it live. When the game's over, head on over to their online casino. You guys know this part. You can get in on a game of blackjack, and get in on a game of poker, unwind with over 150 slot games right at your fingertips. Head to the website today, get in on the action, use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, and you could save, or whatever it is. I think it's a $250 first deposit bonus, something like that. It actually didn't, they took that out of the read, so just use the promo code and something will happen. Bet online, the game starts here, and the show will continue at this point. Let's look at Sammy Boy Smith saying Joe Kelly is overused and tired at 35. So Joe has been bad since coming back from the IL. Do you guys want to go straight into the negative, or do we want to go into the positive?
We'll keep it positive afterwards. Let's just get the bad stuff out of the way, and let's get it out of the way.
I'm in on that idea. So Joe Kelly, I mean, it almost leads into it because we got to talk about Kershaw. Kershaw looks really good, vintage enough, in my opinion. Best start of the season, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks against, I mean, it's a free swinging Milwaukee team, but not a bad team. They do have, I think it was the 6th best record in Major League Baseball. But Kershaw, some people might ask or might say that he was pulled too early. I agree with pulling him at that time at 83 pitches. That's fine. 2 out in the 6th inning. I did not agree with Joe Kelly entering the game at that point. Want to know why? Because Joe Kelly did what Joe Kelly does these days. He allows other people's runs to score. He's the modern day Pedro Baez, and I got a problem with Joe Kelly, and you're the one who said you had a problem on Thursday. So we need to talk more about Joe Kelly. I mean, you hit it on the head on Thursday, and now it continues. Sound off. Give me some Kelly thoughts.
I mean, it's exactly what we were worried about. It's too much variance. I mean, he goes up there. It was like the 3rd pitch he serves up, and it went far. So somebody had tweeted out, and I verified it. Kelly has inherited 14 runners and allowed 8 of them to score.
Yep.
That's way too much.
I might have tweeted that one out, actually.
Oh, was it you?
Yeah.
I don't think it was you. I didn't see it from you. It might have just been floating around. I didn't see it from you.
It's all good.
But there's too much damage. His brand of baseball is strikeouts. Strikeouts work really well with runners on base when you're specifically trying to limit contact. If he's not striking guys out and he's giving up really hard contact, which he is right now, he has no actual purpose on the team. I don't think you can trust him getting 3 outs because he has a huge walk problem.
Yeah.
So if his role is going to be, hey, we need you to come in with inherited runners and just get us out of this inning,
that's not his
He's
role.
failing at that. It's almost like, I don't know what, 8 divided by 14 is, or 14 divided by 8 is, but it's over 50%.
I think it's now it's now like 55% or something like that. All of those inherited runners have scored since the second half, or since he's returned from injury. He wasn't put in a lot of those spots early in the season. Not that he's pitched a whole lot this season. Of course, he missed most of it with that injury. Whatever it was, I think it was hamstring, shoulder, something like that. I don't know. He's always injured. He's always got problems. Like somebody said earlier in the chat, he's 35. He's older. He's on the other side of his baseball career for sure. But the role that Dave is trying to plug him into right now is very clearly not the correct role. And I don't know why they changed it. I don't know why they made it a little bit different than it was earlier in the season, but this is not it. If Evan Phillips isn't going to be your closer, Evan Phillips should be that fireman in that spot. Or maybe not Vesia because he's still trying to find his way back. But at this point, Joe Kelly cannot be on this postseason roster, and that's what we said on Thursday, and I don't think there's a damn soul out there that would, outside of Joe Kelly, that would disagree with that at this point today.
You make a good point. In his first 15 starts through May 5th,
outings appearances,
he had entered the game with runners on base twice, and he did not give up a run. After his injury, when he came back on July 20th, he's only had 5 clean outings, or clean, like he's only entered the clean inning 5 times, with meaning there's nobody on base. So that's 5 out of, that's like less than half at this point. So it's clear that they're trying to get him in with runners on and get them out of it, and he's just not doing it. Maybe it needs to switch. Maybe we need to switch it back to he only gets clean innings because he needs some time to ramp back up. but whatever role they're trying to put him into, like you said, it's clearly not working.
Couple comments here. Sammy Boy Smith saying, Honeywell, I got this, bruh. I like that. I would like to see some Brent Honeywell. We haven't seen him since Dave Roberts killed him a couple days ago, unless he pitched on Saturday. I did not see a whole lot of that Saturday game. Where did I see it? Christopher echoing a sentiment I've seen a lot over the last couple of days, especially since you brought up the Joe Kelly thing on Thursday's show. Joe Kelly getting too much leash because he threw at Carlos Correa 4 years ago. And I think we even said this on Thursday as well. He's always giving up runners when runners on, says Christopher. And I agree. And that's why I said this feels a lot like old school Pedro Baez giving up a Clayton Kershaw run. Kershaw did not look happy in that moment when that ball flew over the wall. We want Kershaw happy. He could be sad in October.
He's so mad. I think he really wanted to have that clean. I think he would have really liked to have that 0 in the earned runs column, because that was a cheap way to give up the earned run too.
Yeah,
is to
absolutely
just give up an absolute bomb
and immediately
3 pitches. Yeah,
exactly. Immediately.
It's just like, and I think maybe part of his frustration is he might have wanted the next batter. Knowing him, he probably did want the next batter, but like you said, at 83 pitches, I don't think pulling him there is egregious. You got to preserve his arm. He went 5 2/3. That's the most. He hadn't even entered the 5th inning beforehand. So getting 5 2/3 was pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we should probably talk more Kershaw. Kind of threw it out there. Guys, drop your Kershaw thoughts in the stream. Again, I still think this is, I'm not going out on a limb in saying this was his best start since returning. The stuff looked good. Maybe at times, as you noted in Discord, maybe there was a little more middle than you would like to see, but knowing the team, knowing the Brew Crew, they are a free swinging bunch, so you can kind of get away with a few middle and set up that slider, which for the greater part. And can we stop for a second to appreciate the center field camera at, I'm always going to call it Miller Park because that's what it should be. It's nice seeing Kershaw in the center field camera just every once in a while. It's a pretty sight to see like what the curveball is actually doing and what that slide piece is actually doing.
Yeah, because because you can actually see it, like you said, because they don't have the camera. I think at Dodger Stadium, it's over his right shoulder.
Yeah.
So that slider doesn't look like it bites all that hard. It kind of just looks like it comes in the whole way. But yeah, with that nice center, like true center, you can really see. I forgot who he struck out. I think in the 4th inning, but you could really see that slider snap at the bottom of the zone, and it looked completely unhittable tonight. So I did like that. Like you said, he did miss a couple. Vintage. I mean,
vintage Kersh. Don't tell him that because he doesn't like that. But vintage Kersh.
Nope.
I was a little worried early on, by the way, because I think he opened the game throwing like 89 fastball. But I mean, we're not going to see.
He ramped it up tonight.
Yeah, he got it up eventually. It takes time for the Bayer and other lubricating powders to wear in when you're old. Let's see. I want to go back a little bit. GI said that wasn't a fireman spot until Joe Kelly made it so. Fair enough. He did enter the game with a runner on. So I will take, I don't know if it's taking an L, but I will agree with GI on that point. Kenny Chung saying it doesn't matter if you serve up that meatball to follow for talking back about Kershaw. Mr. Seabad thinks I need to be wearing a hand guard so I can protect my hand against the mic. I did accidentally hit the mic earlier on Dodgers territory. That's an embarrassing moment. I just hit it again. That's an embarrassing moment right there. What comments you got for us, Chief?
How about the lame bot call? I agree.
Yes.
He was like kind of leaning, but
Mike.
that's a move. The problem with I have with bot calls is unless it's egregious, don't ever call it, because those pitchers have been doing that exact same move. So then it becomes a judgment call because Kershaw's never going to change that move, and it works so well for him. So why are we calling it there? It seemed really weak. I wasn't super happy with that one.
Way too many just like umpires get to make their own interpretations of rules and all that. I mean, I understand that it's hard to train somebody's eye to meet the exact criteria, but come on, like look at the back of the baseball card. How many balks does Clayton Edward Kershaw have in his career, bruv?
And he's got a lot of he's got a nasty pickoff move. He gets guys, and I think maybe it's definitely an underrated skill of his.
Absolutely.
It got highlighted when he picked off Shohei in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
but
that was awesome.
It's in his arsenal. So to call it there just seemed really weak.
Sammy Boy Smith has some trivia for everybody, and I don't think I can answer this one. It says, when was the last time Kershaw and Walker went back-to-back starts? I don't know, but it won't be this week because Walker starts on Wednesday. Tomorrow we have Gavin Stone. We'll talk about this series coming up. We got to talk some Walker Buehler for sure. 499, is that what I see? A 499 super chat? Let's go.
Flores, there he is.
My guy, Richie. Says, lately, every time Joe Kelly comes out of the pen, the grounds crew is dragging the warning track and F the Dodger Stadium parking lot. We'll talk about also the first ever official all Dodgers meetup that happened on Sunday. It was a very good time. I saw, I think Kenny talking about it was pretty warm out there, but we saw a hell of a game. We got a really, really good game. Not a perfect game that you want in the stat line, but in terms of getting people together to ride the roller coaster of a baseball game, Sunday's game was it. You got a killer outing from Glasnow. You got Banda, of all people, kind of shitting the bed a little bit, and then Teoscar doing what he do best and winning our hearts over day in and day out. Diane was at the game as well, smoking hot at Dodger Stadium, she says. Also, I don't know if I thanked you properly, but thank you, Diane. Mr. Diane, Carl, bought us all beers. So
very,
very nice. Very nice. It was very nice of our guy, Carl. But Carl, let's talk about the other. I don't know if it's an elephant in the room, but let's talk about the other big positive of this game. That is Mookie Betts making his return. Really, this is the top story of the game. He returned and he let it be known, your boy is back. Back home in right field where you want to see him, where we wanted to see him, where we talked about him on Friday. 2-for-4 game, homer, 3 RBI, proves to be the difference maker right away. Early in the game, especially after you see that first fastball coming up and in right at that hand, and you start to get the little pucker terrors in there. I wondered also maybe it's like maybe right. I'm gonna fly my ass out to Milwaukee. But I wondered for a second, it's like, would it have been a bad idea to maybe give him 1 or 2 rehab starts? Then he told me, "Nah, I'm good, fam." What do you like? What do you like about what you saw out of Mookie here in his first game back in what is it? Almost 2 full months.
Yeah, almost 2 full months. I think it was 45 games. It's just picking up where he left off and kind of some. Because I remember the start of last year. Obviously, I wasn't doing any shows, but I was of the belief that they should have moved Mookie down in the order for run production anyway.
Yes.
And even when they signed Shohei this year, I was excited because I was like, oh, man, if you bat Shohei or Mookie, however you do this, you could go first to third or second to home on a single. And that immediately happened.
Yeah.
In his third, immediately, Shohei swipes second. Mookie drives him in with an opposite field hit. I think what I like about it is you saw a little bit of everything from Mookie. You saw the jitters at the beginning. He clearly wasn't comfortable. It could have been the ground. I think Oral was saying the dirt was looking a little dry, so maybe his spikes weren't catching, which is why he had that weird tumble out of the box.
Yeah.
But then he comes back with a homer to left. And then with Shohei on and 2 outs, he changes his approach and he goes opposite field and just brings Shohei in from second. I like that you got the full array of what we can see from Mookie Betts moving forward, especially if Shohei's on, second, which is also why I think Gavin Lux is going to end up hitting 9th, because I think they also want to give Mookie that chance to drive, because Gavin also has that base path speed. I think they're going to want to give Mookie every chance possible to drive somebody in from second. But yeah, to the Mookie question, it was everything. Didn't get to really see him make any plays in right field. He actually did play the one ball off the wall really well. He knew they were ahead. He didn't try to make a spectacular catch and crash into the wall. He played it off the wall, held the guy to a single, ultimately did not come in for a run and didn't do any damage. So I like the instincts are there clearly. It's Mookie freaking Betts, man. I missed him. I was so happy he was back. I should have worn my Mookie Betts jersey. It completely slipped my mind. But yeah, it's just so happy to have him back.
There was one where maybe mid-season form Mookie might have got that short kind of bleeder foul ball or single that happened in right field. But otherwise, you got everything you wanted out of Mookie. He's never going to have a problem just sliding his ass right back out there in right field. One of the things I also liked is, there was a lot of headlines coming out of, the internet, coming out of places like I used to work, like you used to work, where you have to sensationalize everything and you're reading tone in reading somebody's words and people saying, oh, did Mookie seem upset about it? It's like, have you guys actually ever listened to Mookie Betts speak? His cadence, like he's real, almost kind of deadpan in the things he's saying. And like when he says, I just want to win some baseball games, man, it's like he fucking means it. He doesn't care about where he's playing. The fact that, I talked about this to with Alana earlier on Dodgers territory. It's like the fact that it took him kind of extending the olive branch and being like, hey, like it makes the most sense for me to go out there. Like why the Dodgers couldn't do that, why Dave couldn't be that guy. He danced around it a lot in pressers and all that, talking about how, maybe he doesn't end up back there, and then he's like, oh no, he's gonna play shortstop, and the big thing is, he's gonna hit second or whatever, which I love. I do want to get back to the lineup a little bit, but I do like, and I think Vasse was the right guy there, because Vasse, for as much as him and Mookie have kind of had some back and forth, his first, what is it, not the 2021-22 off season with the whole bowling thing. Like he really, Vasse really championed that narrative that has not escaped Mookie. So that's a little bit of a problem, but I appreciate Vasse giving him this runway to kind of be like more relaxed, more open, just him one-on-one where Mookie feels more comfortable, not a bunch of reporters asking questions and him trying to get through it. So Mookie's going to say the right things. He just might say them in a way that comes off a certain way. But what you're seeing is a superstar that's true to his word and wants to play, wants to win. And we got a pretty damn good one for what is it, 8-9 more years. But new look lineup, we saw it a little bit. You mentioned it also, the idea of Mookie hitting second. I said that kind of early-ish in the season, almost jokingly, half jokingly, because I can get away with saying I was half joking. But early in the season, he was one of the few guys who was hitting with runners in scoring position. So I was like, hey, maybe move him down. So one, you're breaking up the lineup, but two, more so, you're affording him more opportunities with runners in scoring position. You mentioned Lux batting ninth. Maybe it could be Tommy Edman batting ninth or whatever, but Mookie's going to get those opportunities. Shohei finds his way to get on base, maybe steal a bag, and Mookie could be a serious run producer in that two-hole. And that's an exciting thing for me. Also, maybe it's an inspiration for Shohei too, to go yard or do something special at the top, because Shohei hasn't been terribly hot of late. So
he just hit a 2-run home run.
Yeah, that was
No, I agree.
Outside of the slug, it hasn't been there.
Yeah. I do think Mookie would rather be leading off. I think he takes a lot of pride in being a leadoff man.
It's fair.
That kind of, a leadoff man that you're asked a lot of. You're going to get the most at bats, obviously. You need to have speed on the base paths. You need to kind of do a little bit of everything. I also think there might be he wanted to chase the all-time leadoff homer record, because he was getting pretty close. I think he was only like I think he's 12 away or something.
I think he's like 6th right now.
Yeah, I think he was potentially wanting to chase that, which, that's complete conjecture, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that he might have had his eye on. But I think maybe a game like today, or maybe a couple more of them, he can get used to batting second behind Shohei and just like driving runs in like all the time, and like having those opportunities, because he is so good at it.
Yeah. And
like, as we saw earlier, he did it both ways. Did it with a long ball. Did it, just hitting a bloop single.
That single. Oh, that's the stuff that makes my motor go. Somebody who knows how to hit, just like Teoscar on Sunday, just knowing the situation, knowing that you need to bring that run home to kill any Milwaukee momentum in that moment. That's where I love Mookie in that 2-hole. And whatever we're doing now with Mookie and Wright, Mookie in that 2-hole, it's not for the rest of his life and the rest of his career. They could revisit infield. They could revisit him being a leadoff guy in 2025 or whenever. This is about this year, and I think that's what he made. He made very much known. This is about this year and what helps his team best. Him being in that 2-hole and him being back in right field. So middle of the lineup in this game, a little bit of something to watch. Luckily, you got a couple of bats. Definitely one coming back next week in Max Muncy. Knock on desk. Nothing breaks over the next couple of days. What do you got?
I will say, Freddie hit a couple balls really hard. It just happened to go right at people. Even that last one, I think it was in the 8th. I mean, he sliced the ball straight down the left field line. It looked like he put a great swing on it. There's just a left fielder standing right there. I wasn't too worried about what Freddie was doing.
Yeah.
Will concerns me right now. He's doing a lot of the things that I don't like. Like when he's struggling, when he's like missing middle cut fastballs, and he's doing that a lot recently. Like, there's something off, whether he's tired, he's not getting his lower half, or his hands might not be moving the speed that he's used to. Something is clearly wrong though. So I am a little bit worried. That being said, when we get the big bopper back next week, Will could be hitting like as low, like he's hitting 6th today. That might be his new home.
It will be, because they're going left, right, left. Teoscar is going to be your cleanup guy going forward, and Mookie's hitting second. So Will, the earliest, he's going to be hitting your lineup. It's not going to be Miguel Rojas hitting in the 6th hole. So again,
I mean,
go ahead.
He can just get used to the 6th hole. He doesn't have to do a whole lot. So Smith should visit the optometrist.
That's a great comment right
whoever
there.
Whoever the listeners are, everybody needs to get their phone number or something. We got chiropractors fixing oblique injuries. Optometrists are fixing Kike Hernandez of all people. Like,
right? Like this seems like stuff.
Neil Elitrosh is the GOAT.
This seems like stuff that should just like automatically happen. Maybe, perhaps, potentially.
Maybe I don't. Maybe it's just an optometrist thing. I don't know, but I do. Of all the guys, though, I always know Freddie's gonna break out of a slump. That's just his nature. I know Will's gonna break out of it. He might just need a couple extra days off here and there, which honestly, with the way Austin Barnes is playing, it's not as awful as it used to be. And with Max Muncy coming back, Tommy Edman coming back, all of a sudden Austin Barnes hitting 8th or 9th, you can kind of live with if he's the one guy. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not worried in perpetuity about Will Smith. I would almost suggest to Willie, getting back to the Will part, I would suggest to him maybe lightening the bat up a little bit, maybe going to like a 33-31 or something, because catchers wear down. I've said it now. I've been kind of going on this for the last week and a half, but catchers wear down. You do all of your working out. You get stronger in the off season, and then as the season happens, you don't have as much time and as much stamina to lift as heavy as you were. So is it lift big? Hit the ball far. He's not able to do that right now.
Yeah, and he keeps trying to hit opposite field home runs, which drives me insane.
I don't know if he's trying. I think he's just late. I really just think he's late. He looks like he's swinging a freaking piece of heavy lumber. It looks like he's trying to swing a tree branch that's 3 feet. I don't know. I'm trying too hard with the analogy. But
I do think, though, there is something to – I know everybody disappeared last year. I do think there is something to Will Smith being one of the few guys that actually showed up, because I think that week off really helped him. I think he got off his feet. He could take it easy a little bit, and he got that swing back. So I do think – I know – future conversation about, does that week matter? But I think for a guy like Will Smith, it does.
It absolutely does. Let's take a break to do a couple of little things. We got voicemails coming up. We got some River Ryan talk, latest news and notes and all those kind of things. Looking forward to voicemails. We got a few of them in right now. Quick notes. Here now, won't be here on Thursday. No show. This will be probably the last show here this week, just because I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be out of town. Vacation. Your boy needs it pretty desperately. So no show here. Alana and I will be doing Dodgers territory on Wednesday. So we'll be talking about the latest there on Wednesday ahead of Walker Buehler's return. And I think we have our friend, Steven Nelson, joining the show then. I've seen a couple of people in the chat bringing up the Patreon, the Discord, doing my work for us, so I appreciate that. But guys, if you are looking for a different way to support this channel outside of mashing the thumbs up button, which is a massive help, hitting that subscribe button, which is completely free to you and is a massive help, but we also have Patreon, which is $5 a month. There's another option as well, but it's $5 a month. You also get access to our Discord server, where we talk a lot during games, and it's usually a lot of fun, either living and dying with these Dodgers and Dave Roberts' decisions in there, with a lot of the names you guys see and are familiar with here on the stream. So check that out, patreon.com/realfrg. I'd appreciate it if you would. Also, you can click the join button here on YouTube, and you get all the same perks and all of that. That's about it there. Quickly, we should note, one, What's up?
We should talk about 490. There we go.
499 super chat. Let him know what the people, what Richie said there, Kevin.
Kiki should have come to us first for better hand-eye coordination. Sincerely, dudes home alone with their vintage copy of Playboy.
Hey.
Oh, Richard.
Hey.
Oh.
But
I just read it for the articles.
Quickly, we should also note, maybe the rumors of the Dodgers' demise has been greatly exaggerated because after that win, at the moment, they are in a deadlocked 4-way tie for the best record in baseball. 70-win team. The first.
Did Baltimore lose?
Apparently. Well, at least right now, again, that's where we're at. 70-49. That's where Baltimore, Cleveland, Los Angeles, and the Yankees all are.
Although the Yankees lost. How did the Yankees lose 12-2 to the White Sox?
Magic.
Who pitched that disaster?
I think it was Luis Heel. It was Luis Heel.
Was it Heel?
I saw my friend Derek of formerly of NYY Recap, but now of Pinstripe Territory, adding to the Foul Territory Network. I saw him bitching about Luis Heel on his Twitter.
It was old friend of the Padres, Aniel De Los Santos, who they picked up off waivers. 1 2/3, 8 or 7 earned runs.
Oof.
8 hits.
Oof.
Woof.
Well, that's where we're at right now. That's where we feel, and the Dodgers are getting better. Dodgers keep getting better. We keep getting pieces back. But this is not about us talking about that. We can talk about that at another time where the Dodgers are at. This is about the post-game overreactions. What are people feeling? I'm going to go to the most recent call, the most recent voicemail, which I believe is our friend Richie in Devore. So let's see. Let's listen to Richie for a bit here.
Well, Clint, happy Monday to you. And it is a happy Monday because we're 4 in a row now. Everything's going well. We're kissing babies and slapping backs and handing out lollipops. And all is good in the world of Dodgerville. Kershaw threw a hell of a game today. That was happy to see. Kopech came in and just was throwing gas. He was throwing nothing but Linda Ronstadt pitches. Blue Bayou. And Joe Kelly's like eating bad Mexican food. It makes you have the farts and you just wind up just stinking the place up. But I digress. 4 in a row. We'll take it. Kershaw looked great. And welcome back, Mookie. What a sight for sore eyes. Mookie got it done, and he didn't skip a beat. Ohtani went yard. And then this weekend was just awesome. Just totally awesome. It was a great weekend. Fun. It was hot, but it was great. And all is well. And baseball is fun again. And finally, let's just talk about yesterday, shall we? And I'm talking directly to you, Clint. As much as a smartass as I am, but I'm also a sentimental person, and I appreciate all the hard work that you do. It's a labor of love. It is not your primary job because, shocker, like everybody else, you got a regular 9 to 5 as well. But you make the time for us. You put in your sweat and your heart and your soul into the game and into the podcast. And yesterday, my friend, you were rewarded with everybody who came out. Told you how much you appreciated, told you how much we love everything that you do. And that, my friend, made you the richest man in the world yesterday. So God bless you. God bless the Dodgers. Let's try to win this division. We're getting healthy, and it's all good. However, F the Dodger Stadium parking lot. F the Padres who think they can try to win this division. F Manny Machado and Profar. And for the love of God, F the Ghost Runner. See ya.
Yeah, we got a real life. Well, let's hit the clap button. Much love there to Richie. Got to see Richie in human flesh form yesterday, and he's exactly what you guys hear. He's a sarcastic prick. That I mean that in the most loving way possible. So I appreciate Mr. Richard Flores from Devore, and I'm not somebody that's gonna blow smoke up nobody's ass. When I say one of these days we're doing a live stream from the Devore Man Cave, it will happen. I'm not gonna dip on nobody. I'm not gonna pretend like we're gonna be friends and then leave. I will be there one of these days. But much appreciated, Richie. Yeah, it was fun. That was a lot of fun hanging out with some folks yesterday. Of course, producer Kevin, you were missed in the moment there, not being involved. But we talked a lot about you.
Did you guys start or at least partake in the bleacher creature call?
So I'm not going to lie. At that point in time, we all had just barely connected at the 303 up there in the left field pavilion, and we're just meeting and greeting and loving and all that kind of stuff and highs and also finding other people. So we didn't hear anything outside of two things. So I called just before first pitch. Well, just a little bit before first pitch, we usually do like we do on Discord, doing our called shots. I said Teoscar's going to have a day. We'll go ahead and give me a. Yeah. I also said just before Glasnow threw his first pitch to McCutchen, I said, McCutchen's probably going yard here. I was one at bat off, but there was two homers, so people were mad.
You were one at bat off, and then you were three at bats off at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So the magic is there. They want me to go out and get a whole bunch of scratchy lotteries, so maybe I'll do that on my way up to the mountain this weekend when your boy's going to be drunk on a lake. But again, much love to Richie there for the call. We got a couple more calls. Let's go ahead and go to next caller. I believe this is Calvin. So let's put on the graphic and let's listen to Calvin, who actually called in earlier today. I didn't push the button. One sec.
Hey, Clint. It's Calvin here. Username Calvin the Goat. What was the reason we even traded for Amed Rosario? DFAing him, even though he's had a pretty decent year. I think he's, hitting around 300. He can play, all over the place, versatile. What was the point of that move? That literally has to be one of the most pointless trades we've ever made. Doc Roberts not giving him no playing time. It genuinely baffles me that we did that. But end of the day, I guess they didn't think he was going to make the postseason roster. So I don't know. That just makes no sense to me. We're getting Mookie back, so we should maybe get back into gear now. Honestly, there's so many things we could have done. We could have optioned Paez. We could have cut Nick Amed. I don't know. Maybe they just cut the wrong Amed. I don't know. Maybe it was in the air, but that move just makes no sense to me. Happy to have Mookie back. We're gonna get back in stride. We're actually really close to being the NL leader, being in the first seed. So I don't know. I have no idea why we did that, but at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Clint? Have a good one. Bye.
Appreciate Calvin the Goat calling in. Always now second time caller. Appreciate the calls there. So we're talking Amed Rosario there on that call. We're going to talk more Amed Rosario there in just a minute. I think it's two more voicemails. But it's a head scratcher. It's 1,000% a head scratcher. Why they made that move and then gave him 11 at bats. So let's pin Amed Rosario for 3 minutes, and then we will get back into it. But let's listen next to our boy Noah, who's got some things to say.
Well, hey guys, it's Noah, as you know, and I gotta say, guys, be a freaking Patreon member and join our Discord. We finally met up, and we had the best times of our lives. I got to meet a lot of people, and I finally got to meet the fairy godmother herself, Diane. Finally. It's pretty fun. We had a great time. At one point in the first or second inning, Diane and I said, let's hope Will Smith gets a hit now. He needs to break out of his slump. And sure enough, he listened and he hit a double, and she and I had a great time. It was finally good meeting Clint Pacia, so I've been watching since 2019 in person. And believe me, when I tell you guys, you will not regret it. It was definitely worth the $5 a month, which is literally less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks now. So make sure to subscribe, guys. And the Dodgers are back, baby. We are tied at this time with the Phillies for the best National League record. And we're not even 100% yet. Mookie comes back. And Edmund and Muncy are coming. We are going to win the NOS, and we're going to win the National League. I am so hyped. I'm recording this before the Brewers game, so I'm positive. Hopefully I stay positive. Now, let's go Dodgers and have a good time, guys.
This is our guy, Noah Ortega, as you know. Yeah, that was fun. It was fun meeting everybody out there. I always appreciate, as the thing subscribes, the ding. I always appreciate everybody who tries to push people towards Patreon to help out the channel and to also add more friends into the Discord chat. The whole thing with this meetup, we got one more call. Diane left a nice minute voicemail. We'll listen to that. I'm cold call, or I'm not even. I'm listening to these in real time with everybody else. But this one, I only told people about it. We only planned it on Discord. I only mentioned it on the show like 3 times because I didn't want the unwashed of Twitter coming and ruining our good time. Not that there's bad Twitter people out there. There are, but it's not like it's all bad Twitter people. So the next one will be bigger. I don't know about better, but it will be bigger. It will be a good time as well. We'll figure that one out. But let's listen to Diane real quick, and then we'll move on. We'll talk about a few more things, and then we will wrap it up for the night. Dodgers, by the way, did we say the score? 5-2, Dodgers winner tonight. So what's what we'd like to see, but here's Diane.
Hello, Clint Nation. Diane Schroeder in the house. For all of you who don't know, we had our first inaugural Dodgers meetup at Dodger Stadium yesterday with Clint, Noah, Kevin, Matt, and his girlfriend, and Richard, Michelle, myself, and many others who stopped by throughout the day. First, I want to thank Clint for all his hard work in bringing us the All Dodgers channel because of his love for the sport and providing his viewers with great content. It is truly a labor of love, so again, thank you, Clint. And capping off a really special day was the Dodgers and the Hernandez twins who walked it off in style. Well, that's it for me. Like, subscribe, and join our Patreon or the channel membership if you want to hang out with the cool kids. Okay, bye.
Look at that. That was a loud sounding dingy ding. But Diane, appreciate you. It was nice meeting you after seeing you on these. A lot of you people on these chats for so long. And I know you can say, "What do you mean, you people?" But I've met a lot of you people in flesh person. That was cool. And you know what? We all made time for each other, and that's the important thing there. But let's move on. Let's talk about Calvin's question. What's going on with this Amed Rosario decision? Because, I decided to be like, play Nostradumbass earlier on Dodgers territory, and I thought I was not reaching even slightly when I said Andy Pages was going to be the guy who was optioned. I understand they needed a 40-man spot as well. At least I think they did. Was Mookie was on the 60-day, so they needed a roster spot, right? Unless I'm wrong on that one. But even so, Pages was somebody that they could have still had team control with. They could have optioned him. And then Amed Rosario, I've never seen this team give up on active, living, breathing talent. So it was very weird to see that move.
They didn't need the 40-man spot. He was only on the 15 or the 10-day.
Well,
whatever the position player version of the IL is at this point. All I know are the pitchers. They didn't even need the 40-man. So I don't know why Pages just didn't get sent down, especially considering they were getting an outfielder back.
Yeah, exactly. So the question we'll pose here, and the same thing Calvin said, what was the point of picking up Amed Rosario 13 days ago or whatever it was when you had no real plan for him? Dave, when he showed up that day, Dave had no idea about the type of season Rosario had up to that point. He's like, his only role is going to be this. Was Rosario like a clubhouse cancer? Did they do this just out of a labor of love? But why would you pick him up? I'm thinking it had to have been the Max Muncy situation, out of nowhere, the magic of this chiropractor. Has to be that. Kevin Uhas says Dave hates him. Some rumors.
Dave hates him from last year. He hates him this year. I think it's a combination of Max Muncy and Kike. I think it was insurance for both those players. I really don't think, and that was why I advocated for JT, was because I didn't know, nobody knew really, because the reports were so either negative or stagnant on Muncy's recovery, if Max was going to make it back. So they needed an infielder, and they got one. And he also can play a little bit of second, so he can fill in for Kike if Kike continued to suck, which he didn't. And then now Max is coming back. Kike's, went to the eye doctor, and all of a sudden, Amed Rosario is no longer needed, which is a shame because he's going to get picked up by a contender because he's having a really good year. I saw some people ask, like, why couldn't he just, be, an infielder, like a backup infielder, like defensively. He's not a good defender. He's like, I believe he grades out as one of like the worst shortstops in the league. So you're not really keeping him around for the glove. And I think Dave is going to trust Kike to continue what he's doing. And I don't blame him because we've seen what Kike can do in the postseason. We've not seen what Amed Rosario can do in the postseason.
Yeah, no, and that's what I wonder too. It's like, how much of it is Rosario also just maybe kind of being an ass? And I don't think he was being an ass, but I'm pretty sure he very much was giving. Hey, you guys gave up on me last year. I wasn't even on the postseason roster. You went to Colton Wong. I don't really want to be here. I was enjoying playing every day. And there was, at least they're playing, still for something in Tampa Bay. There's definitely a Dave Roberts factor, or at least just that relationship factor with these two, those two sides.
It's bizarre. I doubt we'll ever hear anything about it unless somebody writes a biography about Amed Rosario. But we'll never hear anything about it. It is really, really weird. Like, if you had done it like last year, leaving him off the postseason roster kind of made sense because he wasn't really hitting all that well. This year, he's actually hitting really well. He's like, I think it's WRC plus against left and right-handed batter. Pitching is like a 106 or 105. So he's actually hitting really well. So Kenny Chung brought it up. Watch some contending team pick him up and Rosario burns the Dodgers. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, it's not going to be the Padres, but I wouldn't be shocked if like the Diamondbacks pick him up. Ketel Marte went down today. So we don't know what his status is going to be. And Jazz Chisholm left today with an elbow injury. Ooh. So there are two teams that need infielders all of a sudden, and they're contenders. He might not make it through waivers, or maybe they trade something to him or to the Dodgers for him. But I wouldn't be shocked if either he goes to either of those teams and, torment, especially if he's on the D-back. Oh my God. You already know if he's on the D-backs and it's a repeat NLDS, that dude is going yard in his first at bat. I can already see it.
That's I had a couple of things I was going to throw in on here. Hold on. Just doing a words on the internet here real quick, so my bad, not having the full attention there. It's like, how awful is it going to be when he ends up, or not even that, how awful? It's like, which team is going to get him? Is it the Padres? So they add, I think this was Kevin Yuha. Somebody said it in Discord earlier. The Padres, so they could have another shortstop, or is it going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks? Because it's going to be one of those teams. I feel it being one of those teams. It's giving, again, it's giving one of them teams.
It's more likely to be them just because they're closer on the waiver wire, like record wise. I mean, the Giants could use them too for a late season push, for an infield. Like any of these teams, like that's the problem, is when you release a player and the list of teams that could use that player starts growing really long. Maybe you shouldn't have released them, or in this case, why trade for him in the first place? But I do think there was a Kike Max insurance policy somewhere in there.
Kike went and became Glasses Kike, and all of a sudden is a Major League Baseball player again. I saw a comment from Sarah. Sarah, good to see you in the chat. Sarah saying it's believe in Dave Roberts, or sorry, believe in Andrew Friedman either way. They know it doesn't make sense, but we trust in Andrew Friedman.
Dave isn't the one making this call though. That's true.
Well, I mean, they gave he came over as protection. That's all it is. Whether Kike continue to suck, Chris Taylor does not come back, or Max Muncy wasn't going to come back. That's what he was there for. Yep. But they feel comfortable enough with what they have. However, if we get into October and because of that, Andy Pajes ends up staying on the roster and he's playing like center field for this team in October, I'm going to feel a little bit worried. But thanks for stopping by again, Amed. We'll see you next year at the deadline. Quickly, I already talked about this earlier today on the Dodgers territory, but we haven't talked about here on the channel, that being the River Ryan injury. That's an absolutely horrible blow. It affects me personally because I was going all in on him being an important part of this postseason roster, where of course it doesn't affect me personally at all, but for the sake of the show and the sake of fun, this is just one of those things that the depth this season, my God, has it been crushed? And I know Brandon Gomes spoke with reporters earlier today before the game talking about that, and they're going to like look into the injuries or whatever. But I mean, Kyle hurt, River Ryan, Emmett Sheehan earlier, Dustin May not knowing how to eat, the Yamamoto injury. Maybe he's not done for the season, but like, what the hell, man? How snake bit is this team, dude?
It's pretty brutal. I mean, we got or at least I don't know if you saw Brewstar.
Yes.
Posted on Twitter. He's working out. He's looking okay. He's moving around at least, which is good because if he's, as Dave would have us believe, his hamstring evaporated. So
well, I mean, the reaction from Bazooka, he was just
it was tough.
It's very emotional
tough.
For sure.
Yeah, as he should be though, because he's if I worked really hard to come back and immediately felt something pull or pop, I would be terrified and sad too. But yeah, to your question, I don't know if it's necessarily more than any other team. It really feels like it though.
Yeah, right now.
And we're talking about like the quality of player that ends up on the IL for the Dodgers is also pretty brutal. I think it was Blake Williams said it on DB like a week or two ago, but it might not be a strength and conditioning thing. But what it could be is it's an organizational focus or the organization is more willing to take on injury prone players because they know they have so much depth and they have so much in reserves that they're fine, getting guys like a River Ryan, a Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin that maybe have more violent movements or they throw really hard. And they're prone to breaking because they know, hey, yeah, we still have like a Robleski, a Landon Knack. We have a lot of guys waiting that can fill those spots. And so it's not like the strength and conditioning is just failing them. It's just you're taking a lot of bets on fragile players and the bets just like can lose. But because of how well they've built the system, they're built to sustain it.
Yeah, you're going for maximum stuff is what they're going to do. Yeah. And I mean, it's a smart play. It's clearly worked well for this organization because if they don't use them on the field, they can use them often, in times in trade. So it hasn't, misfired too much this year. It's been a lot. And I mentioned it earlier again on DT, the fact that even River Ryan kind of, brought up the pitch clock thing. I think there's something to it. How many more injuries? I mean, it's the perfect storm of maximum stuff, maximum spin, throw a pitch every 15 seconds or it's a free ball, all this stuff piling up into this issue. Didn't mention also, I said hurt Ryan, Sheehan, May. Last year, you could throw in Tony Gonsolin. You could throw in Nick Frasso with the shoulder. You could throw in Kershaw with the shoulder. You could throw in Walker Buehler with the elbow. The injuries, they just keep on a-coming. But like you mentioned, as we trudge forward in the show, and also Kenny Chung talking about it, dodged a bullet on Bazooka's hammy. The good news, Brewstar posted a video today on social media. Looks like he's moving very well. Not the signs of somebody who completely ripped meat from the bone. So somebody who could be an option to, let's cross our fingers, maybe take Joe Kelly's place on the roster come October. Yeah. Is there a
world where Tony Gonsolin's healthy at the end of this year?
Yeah, there's the next one right.
He threw a bullpen.
Live bullpen. Tony Gonsolin.
He posted that today. So
I think they would need to severely change the plan or significantly change the plan because they already said earlier this season they're not going to, no matter where he ends up, they're not going to play that Tony Gonsolin card. But still, it feels good because and more people die. Maybe.
Yeah, and more people. Yeah, but like even on my list of 13 guys, not counting Bazooka because he went down. So I have River Ryan on here, so that becomes Bazooka. But like I have Michael Grove on this list. I'd rather have Tony Gonsolin over Michael Grove in both a one-run and a long relief position. So if he's healthy, if he's good to go, you need to see him at least for a couple weeks to make sure that like his arm works still.
Yeah,
and he can get out major league hitters.
And that's the thing. I just don't think there's enough time.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't necessarily think there is, but I just when you throw a bullpen, like for a pitcher, you throw a bullpen, and if you're not being stretched out as a starter, it's pretty fast. Like, hey, if we only need you for 2 innings, like that buildup isn't that long. That can take the matter of 3, maybe 4 weeks, which puts you in the middle of September.
That's fair, and maybe as a short burst reliever, your boy Catman could do something special. I mean, we know he's got the nasty splitty. When he's right, he could touch upper 90s with that fastball. Again, I don't think they play that card, and if they do, something went really continued to go more and more wrong. I mean, we're more likely to see Robleski and all that on this roster. I think either way we're going to see Robleski, but Neil Casamoto talking about my boy Russell Martin, 0 ERA as a reliever. Just throwing that out there. It's an important thing.
GT too, right?
Denny Cortez also saying, is Hanser the answer? No, papa.
I love Hanser. He deserves so much better.
Oh, God. All right, we're going to do one last thing and we'll get out of here. If you guys want more content, I know a couple other shows are going live right now. Our friend Jeff Snyder with Locked On Dodgers and Vince, I believe, is on the show as well. They're going to be going live right after we wrap, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Locked On Dodgers, or if not, make it your first listen tomorrow morning. But let's look at the rest of this Brewers series. We can't look at the full series. You got 2 more in Milwaukee. Very important starts for both the guys we're going to see. One being Gavin Stone, who goes against Colin Ray, and Walker Buehler against, I'm going to call him old friend, Frankie Montas. You taste another sweep here? How are we feeling? Or is it maybe like, is Gavin Stone going to get on track? What does your intuition tell you about these next 2 games?
I think the offense will definitely show up. I think today, I mean, that was Freddie Peralta they did pretty well. I mean, granted, the Dodgers like to disappear against like no-name pitchers, but I think Mookie Betts definitely injects a lot of thump back into this lineup, and it's, it lengthens it. I mean, we saw that today. Like I said, Will Smith batting 6th is a lot better than like having Kike bat 4th. You know what I mean? Like, So there's a lot. Offensively, there's a lot more prowess. I don't know what we're going to get out of Gavin Stone and Walker Buehler. I'm really not that confident in either of them. It was nice that Buehler had a really good outing his last go around at OKC, but he's been bad. Like, he's been bad. And Gavin Stone, if I'm not crazy, he looked a little better last outing.
I think it was slightly better-ish, but it's still like an overall pile of concern ever since that no-no, or not the no-no, but the complete game shutout.
Like he had it was 4 2/3, 3 earned runs.
That's right. He ended up having to get pulled. Like, that's not good. That's not good.
It's not amazing, but it's better than 4 innings 5 or even 6 innings.
Like,
so
as high as I was on Stone earlier in the season, now if he ends up in the postseason rotation, I feel really bad. Like, Yamamoto, please, for the love of all that is sacred, you need to come back, my dude. You need to be alive. And
I'm not confident in the pitching, so I don't know if it's a sweep. I could see them. I could very much see like the Dodgers losing a game like 8-6.
Yeah, real pitchers duel out there. I see my boy Roach in the chat. What's going on, Roach? I'm going to give him give him the record scratch there. I think the most important start, because even with Gavin Stone, more than likely he's going to pivot into some sort of bullpen role, that could have maybe gone to River Ryan. But Walker Buehler, all of a sudden with this Ryan injury, just that renewed importance for Walker Buehler. I need to see a lot out of Butane. These are my final not-so-hot takes here. You need to see a lot out of Butane. You need to see a lot out of Stoner, because they are pitching for their postseason lives. If the Dodgers are being truthful about what they've told us and them putting out the best roster to win baseball games in October. They need to earn it. People need to earn it. It needs to be, what do they call that? Dave I keep forgetting the word, but you need to earn these your roster spot, not just be given it because of past success.
I think I do think Dave is going to go to that. I think the only one maybe is like, and it would kind of suck if it was a legacy start, but like I think Clayton Kershaw is the only one that could potentially teeter and still make the roster. But I think with the team allowing Walker Buehler to go to Florida, I think the team looked at him and said, all right, dude, what we're doing isn't working. You go do you. If you come back and you're back to yourself, great. If not, we're not gonna start you.
Yeah.
I think that was because that's not something they do. So I do think that if, Walker Buehler struggles down the stretch, because I think, with River Ryan down, he's going to get pretty much every turn in the order. If he's not good, I think they're going to have a come to Jesus moment and say, hey, man, we just can't use you. We just can't. Sorry, you're not one of the 4 best starting pitchers we have.
And Walker, I feel like Walker can handle that. He's not going to like it, and he shouldn't like it, but I think he can handle it. But hey, you know what? At least we saw positive signs in his last start there at AAA. Guys, that's about it. I'm doing this for my boy Roach. I gave him the clap. Mr. Roach, hopefully you pop on the shows a little bit more often. But, guys, that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. If you did, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 1 billion by 10 minutes from now. But if not, we can get a few more on the channel. It's completely free, and it really helps out the show. I promise you that. Looking for a different way to support the show as well, patreon.com/realfrg, or click that join button here on YouTube. $5 a month goes a long way in helping keep the lights on and allowing us to do more content. Hopefully more content coming from that guy in the corner real soon. But that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the comments, the questions, the interaction. Thank you guys for the love who came out to the meetup thing at the Dodger game on the Sunday. Thank you for so much for the super chats for people who sent them in. I think that's all the things. Moderators, you do a kick-ass job. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. Follow that guy at Skinner7Kevin on Twitter. Follow this guy at RealFRG on the Twitter, on the Instagram. If you want to see me be drunk on a boat at Shaver Lake this weekend, follow me on Instagram. Anyways, okay, that's about it. Bye.